Hey everyone, at the end of my last Zeah video I mentioned about doing another one to kind of explore the area more, and I kind of got a bit delayed to that because I was busy runecrafting. Pretty much the short version is I like the blood runecrafting, but I'll get to that in a second. So pretty much what I want to do for this video is kind of have a bit of a tour, reaction, and overview of Zeah. So I have not actually explored the other houses besides Arceus yet, so I want to kind of go around and devote like 5 minutes to each house and explore around the area, kind of look around as part of the tour, see my reactions to it, because I haven't been there in person yet. I've seen like videos of it and other people on streams and whatnot, but I actually haven't seen all the houses, and also kind of do a bit of an overview of the rewards from the different houses. Now for Arceus here, I kind of already know the rewards because, well, that's the only house I really have done a lot with and had the max favor for. So, yeah. So, I'm going to quickly go over these rewards, then move on to another house. Before I start going over House Arceus, I just want to note a couple things real quick. The first is that Zeah is still new at the time of this video. There were some updates this past Friday, and I expect more updates will be coming this week. So, some of the stuff I say might not be accurate in the future, so if you're watching this video later on, keep that in mind. And the other thing is, I am turning on music now. I didn't have music on when I was in Zeah before. You won't be able to hear in the recording, but I'm hearing it, so it's going to add a bit to my reaction, because now I'm listening to the arcade music for the first time. Anyway, so for House Arceus, the main things it adds, if we look here in the little display, is Necromancy and the new runes. I did a bit with the new runes in the last Exploring Zeah video, so I'm going to kind of skip over that or briefly talk about that. And for the other stuff, it's mainly just gaining favor. You pretty much just work in the library the whole time. Help customers then seeking the dark manuscripts. I hear the essence mining wasn't really worth it for favor, and that's really all that does until you can get the runes. So for Necromancy, it's actually really cool. At the moment, the dragon heads here, I think I can show you the guide price. And also, I know my gear's probably a bit newbie. I think they're closer to 8.8k. But with the cost of runes, 4 soul, 4 nature, and 2 blood, it comes out to being around 10 prayer experience per GP. Or, yeah, 10 GP per prayer experience. Sorry, my bad there. So it actually is a pretty cost-efficient way to train, or at least cheaper than Dragon Bones. And I think for my test to go from a 75 to 80 prayer, or 85, I already did a bit of Necromancy over the past weekend. So, yeah. I might just start doing this as I explain, and I probably should drink my potions first. So, yeah. Necromancy is actually a pretty good way to train prayer, at least if you have a decent magic level. If you only have the lower level stuff, it probably isn't as good. But here's what I found. If you stand at this exact spot next to this little spot of rocks, I guess it is, tiling, you can summon the dragon, and it'll always appear over here where it can attack you. Some of the other spaces, it will kind of spawn on top of you, so it's a little less AFK. If I was to attack it immediately, it probably would help with my kills per hour. But they only have 35 hit points. All the new undead reanimated stuff in Zeah does. So I can do this 6 times from here and then run back here and do it again for another 6. So what I usually do is I have, 24 heads and just have my glory, my rune pouch of my runes, and 2 monkfish on me, and I pot at the bank. And I usually go to edge and then fairy ring over. If you didn't have a Lumbridge Elite, you would probably need to take a Draven Staff instead of a monkfish. But they usually don't do that much damage. Anyway, so for what I've seen at the current prices anyway, compared to Dragon Bones, it would save me about 9 mil, but it would take a bit longer. Compared to using the bones on the altar, it would save about, or take about 4 hours longer. But compared to just AFKing with the X option on the altar, it would only save about, 1 to 2 hours, I think it was, or take about 1 to 2 hours longer. So, because of the lowered cost and the additional magic experience, it's actually a pretty viable way to train prayer, even though it's a bit slower than just the direct prayer experience with the altars. So yeah, this is pretty cool. But anyway, like around here is where it says you don't have enough room to spawn them. So enough about Necromancy. The other things I want to note is the Blood Altar and the Soul Altar. So at the moment they're a bit AFK, so they might be addressing that, and the experience rates might need some tweaking to get to what was pulled, but they are pretty good runecrafting methods. It's a pretty interesting process of mining, running to the dark altar, chiseling, running back, mining, and repeating, then running from here to the blood altar. So it is a pretty good way to train. It's not that good of money because the runes crashed a lot. I think it's more because it's AFK than the method itself. So if the AFKing part is changed, it might have the prices rise a bit. So yeah, but overall, House Arceus is a pretty good house. It has not a lot in the actual city, and if I do this here, it will say that. And I don't want to open the chat, but yeah, this is where it is, so you run back and start again. But yeah, House Arceus, most of the content's back up here and not actually in the house itself. The actual, like, city portion or town portion of House Arceus is a bit barren. So, yeah, anyway, on to the next house. So I was about to leave House Arceus here and head to the center statue to resume, and on the way I knew some guards here, and apparently these are guards. Like, I got 30 GP each time I pickpocketed them, including the head guard where he walk off to, and I also saw an imp about, which is, I don't know, nice to see anyway, because, you know, this is my first time seeing the rest of Zeah for myself. I assume the music's gonna change soon. Kourend the Magnificent. So, yeah, Kourend, the giant city here with the statue. This is a very interesting song, and multi-combat too. Good to know in case I ever come here on Dead Man. Does it zoom up to show you the statue? Ah, it doesn't. So this is a poem. I think I saw the same one in the library. Oops, I clicked it again. So you can kind of see it. They did originally plan a bigger statue here, but it had to be cut due to problems with the engine, unfortunately. So, I don't know, maybe they could change in the future. I think they did talk about adding, like, statues around here. But yeah, this is a pretty cool center part. I just kind of wish like this was like the center of the city and had pathways going to all the houses from it sort of thing, rather than just being a place you can walk to. And oh, here's the signs. Remember they showed a picture of that. So this is kind of to guide you around, and oh, nice to see trees. I think that's the first tree I've seen. Then again, I have been at House Arceus with all its death magic this whole time and haven't really looked around yet. So that kind of guides you to all the houses, and I do see an oak tree and normal trees. So for the most part, Zeah is like the normal continent. So yeah. Also, I do have my map up, so now I know where I'm going. I think I might have saw a few trees, but I don't know. It's a big change of atmosphere from House Arceus, to say the least. And I am a bit down. Is this the Teeth minigame? Teeth? No, this actually isn't. This is just the plows for House Arceus. Or, not Arceus. Hosidius, I think is how you say it. So, yeah. And now I'm actually listening to a country jig. I'm also unlocking the music. I need to get my music gate back while doing this, so yeah. But since I'm here, I think I'll go over House Hosidius. I will explore it a bit more later. I want to head up to, Piscarilius, I think that's how you say the fishing one, and do that before I kind of loop around, because that one's at the corner, and if I don't head back there, it's easy to miss. But you start by plowing the fields, then you can make fertilizer, and it mainly unlocks the Spirit Tree Patch, protection of your allotment. You can use the allotment without alignment to the house, though, which is really cool. And you get a new cooking range, which is 5% less burn rate, and the farming minigame. And I've heard a bit about the farming minigame, and there also was something about cooking there, I think just for favor. But I heard about the farming minigame, and if you play it really well and really focused, you can get a lot of experience per hour, and I don't think there's any cost to it, so it seems pretty good there. And I also have a whole bunch of staminas on me, because I only plan to really run around and look at things and talk, so yeah, this might not be the most interesting video. But I think I'm going to cut to when I get to the fishing house. So I made it to House Piscarilius. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure how else to say it. It's similar to Piscators, which is the fishing colony. So, you know, where you get monkfish. So yeah, I was here before, since this is where you enter Zeah. The docks are like right down there. And I ran to more guards. And yeah, I think these are the same just as normal guards, because I don't see them in the skill guide. So I think they're the same as, you know, level 40 guards. Which is nice to see that they're the same as old content, not like new special Zeah guards. And a lot of NPCs here. I can't say I know too much about this house. I think there was something about repairing cranes, which apparently took a lot of resources. I think it was being tweaked, though. So, yeah, this is the rundown house with pirates and fishing. Unfortunately, I heard there aren't many fishing spots here, and the music does sound very fitting for a port. So, oh, here's the bank up here. I think there's a teleport there, or something there, I remember. I don't know, maybe it wasn't a teleport, I'm thinking of something else. Is that an everlasting fire? If that is, that's pretty cool, I guess. So you have bankers here, and, yep, bank. So I'm not sure how much there really is in this house, so actually, let's look here. Yeah, pretty much it's just you get anglerfish. I heard that they did buff the looting stuff, so you can take fish to the market, maintain the nets, hunt grubs, but I think you need the grubs for anglers, and that might not give favor. So this house probably could use a bit of buffing in the future, or it's definitely one when they do add more stuff, it probably could use a bit more, but anglerfish seem pretty good. Or at least they're nice high-level fish that seem very viable because they're pretty much rocktails in old school. because they heal above your max hit points, but I think their entire healing value is based on your hit points level. So if I try and eat one at 90 hit points, I might not heal 22, or probably would heal a bit less. I don't know, I haven't looked too much into them, but overall this is a pretty interesting house. I like how it's designed with the pathways, and I still do have roofs on for this. So I wish they had a bit more fishing spots, because I'm not seeing any. I haven't really looked that hard either, but I think, yeah, up here by the bank, or I think I have to cross this bridge again. I think that's where they did have a fishing spot on the map, so let's look there. It would make sense if it's close to the bank. I don't know, but yeah, this is like the only dock where it looks like you can fish from. I heard this guy's clickbox was big and annoying players, so wow, that is a really big fishing spot. So apparently you can bait the fish here to get the new anglerfish, but aside from that, oh, is that a fishing shop? I actually did not remember seeing that, or seeing that on the map. So this is kind of at the far corner here, right below the soul altar actually. So oh, you can actually buy the sandworms. I did not know that. That's actually good to know. I thought you actually had to dig them up yourself, which really would have slowed down the whole fishing process there, but I don't know, it would be nice if they did add some more fishing spots around for like lobsters or other fish, just because it seems like you only can catch anglers here, which, well, it's kind of like monkfish, you can only catch munchfish at the fishing colony. It just seems a bit disappointing that the fishing house can only catch new fish and not any of the old ones. But I don't know, that's something they always can change in the future, I suppose. Like, a fly fishing spot along the river here might be nice, even if it isn't the most efficient fly fishing spot in the game. But, yeah, I think I'm going to head back to House Hosidius, the farming one, and we'll go on from there. And pirate. So this is the whole teeth minigame, the farming minigame area. I can't do it because I don't have the favorite, but I can see the shop. Apparently it gives you compost, super compost, and you can buy, I think it's 200 use watering can, which is pretty cool. I suppose they could always expand this in the future too if it needs more rewards, but it also does give a lot of experience, so I think compost might be enough. But I want to kind of lap around this way, or start here and then lap around. Can you go in here? This is kind of, yeah, this is something you can't do at the moment, grapes. So they did mention about grape farming, but currently it's actually not available, not on the skill guide, you can't do anything with it. So when they do add more updates, I expect that we will see grape farming in here, or it might be something players get to do. And oh, a nice willow tree spot. Wow, that's a lot of willow trees. This could definitely replace some of the existing willow tree spots for training, because you usually drop willow trees anyway. I also heard that back up here, there is, or somewhere up here. Let me actually just head there real quick and cut when I get there. So this is a bit of like a hidden area, or at least really out of the way area, but it's actually pretty cool because it apparently has a lot of seaweed spawns. But what I saw is that there's a ton of hobgoblins here, and as someone who hunts the champion scrolls, that is very interesting. This is pretty much like next to the crafting guild, you know how they have that little peninsula with the hobgoblins? This is like that, but bigger. So I think there's also a ton of snape grass if you get to the top. So, yeah, this is just, like, if I set up a canning here, I can probably get that scroll in no time. So, yeah, and a ton of snape grass, so I thought that was worth noting. Anyway, I think I'm going to cut when I get back down to that farm area, so, yeah. It seems that below those willow logs, there's actually a decent-sized cow pen. I don't know, cows are usually popular for trading or for low levels. I don't know who's going to come all the way out here to train, but there's more cows, and it does seem there's a lot of seaweed around too, so they had a lot more spawns. This is the new farming patch area with a new herb, flower, and allotments, and a compost bin, so I'm very interested in that. I really want to get that part of my normal farming runs. You can access it, I believe, without having any favor, or at least from what I've heard, so that's actually really cool. And it seems, is this actually a food shop? There's actually so few food shops in RuneScape, I forget, but I think this is where the talisman teleports you. I'll get to that later when I go to Shazian, which is probably next, actually, so yes, it is a food shop. That's interesting. Anyway, so this is the spot where the talisman teleports you to, I believe, and there's a couple magic trees here, even if it is a bit questionably shaped. And also, a new music track was playing when I got down to this farm area. I think up here is just plows, and over to the side, I think there's a chapel. I do have the map up, and I really do like how there's imps all over, or at least a lot of imps, and oh, squirrels. So here's the chapel. I assume it's just the normal altar, chapel, whatever you want to call it. And down here, I believe it's the charcoal burners. This is something I definitely will have to prepare, because I hear that you need charcoal to make any progress in one of the houses. And oh, there's a bank chest here. That's nice to know. Also probably help if you did want to collect seaweed around here. And I probably should drink another stamina. But I think there's juniper trees, which used to make the charcoal, and that's really all they're good for at the moment. I don't know, probably all they ever will be good for. One of those specialty trees. Is that it? No, that just looks differently colored. I think, I don't know, they're somewhere around here. I also think, yeah, that's where you dig saltpeter. And here's the stuff to make gunpowder for the mining house, or not gunpowder, TNT, I think it is. So I actually don't know where the new trees are. Oh, there it is, juniper tree. So, oh, back to the happy music. So, yeah, there is a bar down here, or a pub, or beer icon. I think it's that building. And the music just changed. Oh, back to the less happy music anyway. So, yeah, where am I going now? I actually don't recall this area or know what that is. Maybe that's the kitchen mess hall. I am not sure, but up here is the last bit of the house, I believe. And then I think I have to go back to the center to head over to Shazian, because it looks like there's going to be mountains there or something. But, oh, that's a pretty big sheep pen. I think there is also a bank close by, so it could be the best place in the game to shear sheep. Like anyone does that, but it could be. I think, yeah, that is the bank, so it definitely is very close. Whoops, sorry about that. I accidentally clicked out the game window. So, yeah, the bank is very close, and I did want to run over here because I believe... Oh, there's also a good bit of maples next to the bank. I don't know, this could be a good woodcutting spot. And, oh, yew trees over here, too. That is a pretty nice woodcutting spot. And I think, yeah, that is the spirit tree patch, and it does have a farmer. I do want to get my spirit tree here once I do have enough favor to do it, because it doesn't dig it up when you lose the favor, I've heard. And, I don't know, the only other places are Sarim and Miscellanea, and both of those are easy to access. My first one's in Brimhaven. So, yeah. And if you come up here, I think there is another bank and a range. And this is the special burn reduction range, so I thought that was worth checking out. Somewhere up here, I think it's this house? Yes. I guess you could access it without it and only can use the range when you have the favor, kind of like the furnace in Edgeville. So, yeah, this place looks pretty interesting. Is there actually any shops here? Doesn't look like it. So, yeah, now I'm going to head over to Shazian. Okay, so this is House Shazian. I think that's how you'd say it. Apparently there's some bears up there as well. So, this is probably the worst house of the 5 at the moment. Almost said 4. But, yeah, it just doesn't have a lot to offer because this was a skilling update and this is a combat house. The stuff it does offer is mostly low level and not that useful. I don't think there's actually much here besides some tents, and in the other episode or video, I did mention about how it seems strange to say win armor, but apparently you like fight the soldiers and if you beat them, you have a chance to get their armor sort of thing, so it's not just given to you. But all you can really do is heal soldiers, go and fight lizardmen. I think there is some loot from organized crime, like tackling organized crime. I'm not sure how much you get though, and then you can win the cosmetic armor, which can go in your player-owned house, by the way. And there is also that new low-level magic gear from stuff dropped by the Lizardmen. But pretty much all you can do is train your favor, get the cosmetic armor, and Lizardmen, yeah, I think they might be decent training, or I heard they're at least a good place to cannon. And I think if we head up here, there's going to be a bit more. So, yeah, this is the Shazian house. I think that's where the Lord would be, or I don't know. But pretty much it's just a lot of tents and not a lot of content here at the moment. But the Lizardmen do drop a talisman and fangs. Oh, here's the bank. Actually forgot to even look for a bank. So let's see what the bank is like at least. And head up to the Lizardmen and then Lovaking, whatever you pronounce that one. So it's a standard bank. And, yeah, so the talisman the Lizardmen drop are charged by their fangs, and it teleports you all around Zeah. It teleports you, I think, to... I'm not sure where all the teleports are. I know one's to that tree I mentioned earlier, or the trees spot with the magic trees, and another one is up to Lovakinge, and I'll show you the spot when I tour around that. And I think there's one more teleport, but I'm not sure where. But up here is the Lizardman area. I can't get in because I don't have the favor, but when I do the other stuff, yeah, this is where you climb down, and then you can fight the Lizardmen. So, yeah, there's a few different levels of them, too. But up this way is Lovakinge, however you want to pronounce it, Lovaking. I don't know, they don't have official pronunciation for any of these areas yet, or it kind of varies between JMod, so I don't think there really is an official one, and I think we are in Lovakinge now. And, Dwarven Domain. So this is the final one. I'm not sure if you can cut across from my House Arceus to this, and, yeah, I haven't heard that favorable stuff about this house yet, or apparently it's just annoying because you had to make dynamite to get favor. The sulfur and charcoal didn't get favor. I think they did add favor to sulfur just to make it a bit better. Apparently, all this stuff is just training, like I kind of speculated. So the problem with dynamite, though, is that it takes so long to make the charcoal part of it. Over at Hosidius, it's like 8 hours or so. You can make a whole bunch at once, like thousands of it. So that part's good, but it just takes a long time. So it took people like hours or like a day before they could even start gaining favor in this house. So that was a bit disappointing. And oh, rocks. I really am interested to see the different stuff like mines they have. Oh, that is really awesome, actually, because this is a perfect iron formation. I mean, you can mine 1, 2, and 3, and then go back around by the time it respawns. So that is really nice. Oh, is this the fire pit? There wasn't mention at the start of the year in a news post that they were adding fire pits for fire making, and I couldn't help but notice this looks kind of like a fire pit. So I wonder if this might be something they expand on later, or it's just for decoration. So I kind of want to tour around this way and then head back. And I actually would like to see if you couldn't cut over to Arceus, that's the word. Sorry, this is kind of a bit of live commentary and not pre-planned, like most of my other videos have been on this channel so far. So, yeah, there's some furnaces in here, I assume. I don't think they're special, just furnaces. I don't know, maybe this is a place for making the armor or such, though. I wouldn't know. So, let's see. Actually, I'm not sure exactly where I am. I think the bank is actually below me, and the altar is above me. I don't know, Zeah's a bit confusing when you are new to it, at least. But there's a lot of houses here, and I think, like Arceus, there's just not a lot to them. Or most of the houses don't have a lot to the houses, the actual buildings. So, yes, this is the bank. So, yeah. You know, out of all the banks I've seen so far, this is actually probably my favorite designed one, just because of how it looks. I don't know, it looks similar, I guess, or it fits the house, and it is a nice bank overall. I don't know, it doesn't look too similar to the other ones, and, well, almost like I'm in the wilderness with those little lava things. You know, it's probably very bad to actually build... Oh, ornamental anvil. I thought I was like, is that an actual anvil? Nope. So, I think somewhere over here there is a tavern. There it is. So if I can cut over to House Arceus, it would be up here. So I think you can by the look of it. So this is where the Tower of Magic is. So yeah, you can cut over. So all the houses kind of loop around in some way. I'm not sure if you can go from Hosidius to Shazian though. But aside from that, I think if I can cut up here, there is an anvil. So that's the altar I mentioned. I don't know, the lava does kind of hinder the city a bit, and I am looking to my other monitor for the map, so if my voice kind of lowers in volume, it's because I turned away from the microphone. Well, apparently you actually can't walk there despite having stuff there, so I'm going to cut to when I get back around. Okay, so I made it over to the altar here, which is, I don't know, a fairly nice altar, not much to it. Probably won't be that useful because it's not that nicely positioned to a bank or anything like that. It is not far from the teleport though, so it could have some use there, I suppose, but the RD Cape already has a good teleport. And here's the anvils. So apparently that's the only place for anvils here, so it might not be that great of a place for smithing, if that is. I don't know, I think there might be some closer to the mines or the other areas, but I'm not seeing it. So this is the Lovakite Furnace. I thought this furnace was special. So this is the place in Lovakinge, that's the word. I was thinking Lovakite and it messed me up. Or, it's kind of funny how Lovakinge. Yeah, I guess that would make a lot more sense because I'm pronouncing them weirdly. Anyway, so this is like where the talisman would teleport you, I think. And that's where you apparently smelt the Lovakite. So this is the blast mining area. Huh, that does not look like a safe incline. But this is blast mining. It's similar to the Motherlode mine in that there's water to move your ores to an area. Or it kind of borrows a bit of design, I think. But aside from that, it seems very different. A lot more click intensive, apparently. And apparently at the moment, it's not that good. Because I think you can get like 50k experience per hour, but only 30k or 300k profit, which doesn't compare that well to Motherlode Mine. And the main problem is you need to buy the dynamite or make it yourself. It's not like free at the mine. So depending on how many players make dynamite, it could be a bit hard to get a hold of or cut into your profits. So hopefully they will be scaling that this week or in the future anyway. So I think we actually loop back around to where that fire pit is. Yeah, so over here is the Lovakite mine, and above it is the sulfur mine. It's really cool seeing a red ore like that, though. And apparently there is some coal here, so this could be a very good place to mine coal, maybe. I don't know, it seems they did put few enough that it's not really meant for that. And apparently a copy of the other bank. Looks very similar anyway. So, yeah, you can get a lot of Lovakite. Oh, that looks like a very good coal mining spot if you were interested in that. Although coal is not really that good of a mining thing in general. And is there a mining shop here? That's what I'm interested in at the moment. So this is a sulfur mine. Those clouds will damage you from what I've seen. Oh, there is a shop. So what do you have? All the pickaxes and 500k pots. Or 50k pots. That might be a bug. But nice to see another pickaxe shop where there's not many of them. So I think this is about it for the tour of Zeah. Or at least Kourend. Kourend's the first part of Zeah in the city itself. You know, all these cities like Lovakinj are actually houses within Kourend, the city. I think a lot of people might be mistaking that, so probably good to clarify and not mess up myself. But yeah, so I think that's about it for Zeah or Kourend at the moment. Hopefully they will be adding some tweaks and improvements and building on the favor system, because at the moment there's not that many ways to gain favor and not that many uses aside from the 100% stuff, which can be good or bad, but it's very dependent on your skill. Like, you know, if you don't like mining, this house is pretty much useless. If you don't like fishing, this house is pretty much useless. This one's not that useful to begin with, and, you know, don't like runecrafting or prayer experience or prayer training, this house is not good, and this is pretty much a decent cooking spot and a farming minigame. Although the other farming perks could be useful, so that's probably the most useful house, actually. But hopefully they will expand upon this with more ways to gain favor, more rewards for favor, and just more stuff in general to fill up some of these not-so-useful areas. I really do wish there were more mining spots around the city, because this seems to be the only one besides the mine there. And I don't know, it'd be nice to see more stuff like mithril adamant, and maybe like a rare runite spot that requires favor to access. That would be really cool, because, you know, it's always nice to have more variety or more places for that sort of stuff. Anyway, I think I will be ending it here and probably heading over to Zeah to trade my combat stuff or to get the talisman for myself so I can hit the teleport. So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed my little tour around Kourend, and until next time, goodbye. What timing? So just after I got done recording that last clip, I found out they posted the dev blog, which I actually thought would be delayed because it's a bit late in the day. But yeah, it has a whole bunch of updates for Zeah, some Deadman and Jad 2 stuff as well. But I just want to cover the Zeah stuff briefly, so pretty much go check out the dev blog if you haven't already by the time this video's up. But it offers some new teleports for Necromancy, wines to Wines of Zamorak, and Resurrect Crops for the spellbook as well. A new farming experience boosting outfit from the Tith minigame in Hosidius. Also, a seed box that stores up to 6 different types of seeds. They will be opening the grape area, or they're polling to open the vine house so you can grow your own grapes. Shazian will offer a new high-level Lizardman, which will drop a Dragon Warhammer. So, you know, the Grapes and Dragon Warhammer they mentioned before launch are working their way into it, so they just were going to wait to pull them, apparently. And it seems to work a bit like a Stadius Warhammer, but it requires you to hit instead of always reducing no matter if you hit or not. I don't know, I'm not too familiar with the Stadius Warhammer special, so I think it's similar, though. And apparently these new Lizardmen that drop the Warhammer will have an acid attack that's negated by the Shazian armor. So it's not going to be completely cosmetic, although it's still probably going to be pretty bad to use against them. And they're also offering recolors for Graceful, you know, like the armor I'm wearing right here, based on your house alignment. Hopefully they tweak them a bit from the concept art that someone posted on Reddit, but I really do like that idea. And hopefully they won't add one of each recolor to the armor case, meaning I need to get a total of 6 sets of Graceful for that, because I like to have one of each. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for my Zeah video. For sure this time, I hope, or unless they keep posting more stuff. But anyway, just go check out the dev blog, because the poll should be out in, well, a day or two. Not sure when I'm going to actually get around to editing and posting this, but, yeah. Anyway, until next time, goodbye.